The government is set to resume the issuance of domestic bonds following the expiration of a 3-year restriction imposed in 2023 after the debt default and the Domestic Debt Exchange Program (DDEP). The Ministry of Finance said the decision reflects declining inflation, renewed investor confidence and a stronger macroeconomic environment supported by a sound medium-term debt strategy. With the restriction lifted, the government aims to reduce its reliance on treasury bills and issue longer-dated domestic bonds to enhance fiscal stability. The Accra High Court has dismissed an application by pressure group Democracy Hub seeking to stop the Electoral Commission from recognizing NDC parliamentary candidate Baba Jamal as a qualified candidate for the Ayawaso East by-election. The application was based on allegations of vote buying during the party's primary held on February 7. The court held that the suit was incompetent. Lawyer for Democracy Hub, Oliver Bakavomawo, shared his sentiments following the court's ruling.
You're looking for the test case at some point. We have normalized it to some point that we decided that this is going to be the test case to push this conversation and seek proper legal reforms. And so that's what we have decided to do. So it's not a question that we don't feel as aggrieved by the others, but that there must be a starting point by which we begin to take serious actions against them. It had to be Baba Jamal. I have nothing personal against him. He was my mate in law school, but it had to be him.
The government, through the Ministry of Education, says it is preparing to roll out a 20% deprived aerial allowance for teachers, a move aimed at strengthening the education sector and improving learning outcomes in underserved communities. When implemented, the allowance is expected to serve as an incentive for teachers who accept postings to remote and disadvantaged areas.
20% on top of their gross salary as part of the motivation. So the thinking is that if we can combine the provision of accommodation and some additional remuneration, it will make it easier for teachers to take up appointments in rural, underserved communities.
After a decade of implementation, a new bill has been introduced to amend the Public Financial Management Act with the aim of strengthening fiscal discipline and enhancing accountability in public spending. The sponsor of the bill, Kojo Opong Nkrumah, explained that a key provision in the proposed amendment will prevent the Ministry of Finance from disbursing funds for programs that are not included in the approved National Development Plan.
Today, there's room for ministries, departments and agencies and metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to embark on projects or programs which are not exactly emergency projects or programs, but projects or programs that are as though they are part of their normal work, except that they have not been certified under the National Development Planning Commission's plan, which they would have received from the ministries, departments and agencies. And so this amendment seeks to deny the Ministry of Finance the opportunity to fund such projects and programs. This is separate from contingencies or emergencies that may come up.
Ghanaians are being urged to be intentional in preserving and handing down our rich culture and heritage. Earlier today, the 2026 edition of Media General's Ghana Month was officially launched at the Ghana Village, marked with a celebration of the rich culture and traditions across the nation's diverse ethnicities and regions. Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Jifa Gomashi, applauded Media General for the consistency with its Ghana Month initiative.
Your station has done so well. Everywhere in this country and across the globe, you are watched. And for you to dedicate the month to celebrate who we are is commendable. If you look around, what they have used, it's in the thatch it's in the basket that's been woven, it's in the Dinkra symbols, it's in the kete or kente, it's in the music that we've been listening to, it's in the costume that we're wearing. So TV3, here's your flowers and your clap.
Well, we're taking our flowers and our clap indeed, and there's going to be a lot to look out for in the days ahead in this Ghana month. So stay with us here on TV3 and across all media journal platforms. Coming up next on Ghana Tonight, all set for the Ayawaso East by-election tomorrow. We're live in the constituency tonight to give you an idea of how the constituency and the constituents there are building up strongly to the opening of polls tomorrow at 7 a.m. The opposition NDC is confident of retaining the Ayawaso East parliamentary seat as the by-election takes place in barely 12 hours. And we're going to give you an idea of what is happening there here on your Election Command Center. And this is your Election Command Center. We're live on 3FM 92.7. As always, Ghana Tonight is proudly brought to you by Flamingo Paint, Simply Superior, Sasson Sensai Spray and Coil, Tum Tum Precom. The Ayawaso East constituency is beaming with activity hours before the by-election, which will see one of 5 candidates emerging as a winner to represent the constituency in Parliament. Now, constituents tell my colleague, Noble Crosby Annan, who's been there, interacting with them this evening, they are poised and ready to make their voices heard. Now, we're gauging the mood there. While some are advocating for change, others are championing continuity. And this is a seat that has been held over the period, in fact, since its creation by the National Democratic Congress, NDC. The electoral history of that constituency favors the NDC. But then, is there room for an upset? That's a conversation we're going to be having. Dr. Sar Sante is going to be joining us in a bit. But my colleague, Noble Crosby Annan, has been at the constituency a few hours engaging with the constituents there. Let's give you a feel of how the constituents themselves are preparing ahead of their big day tomorrow. Take a look.
Well, the posters are fading already. The rallies are over. The promises have been made. Now the Ayawaso East constituency must decide. But before the ballots are cast, one key question remains. Are the stakeholders truly prepared for a smooth, credible contest? Welcome to the NPP headquarters in the Ayawaso East constituency. Now, their candidate is Baba Ali Yusuf. He is number 3 on the ballot ahead of the elections. Let's touch base with some supporters of the party in the constituency and find out from them how ready they are ahead of tomorrow.
We are ever ready. We are very, very ready. We are poised. We know we are winning these elections because the dynamics have shown that we are winning these elections. We will have a very peaceful election because Ayawaso East, we are brothers and sisters. We know each other.
How is security deployments like? Are you satisfied?
Yes, we are. From yesterday, we've seen their presence. They have been around and they are not harassing anybody. And I think they are being fair in their dealings in the constituency. And we expect that tomorrow they will continue with the fairness and the decency that the police is showing so that this election will be peaceful. That's what we want.
We are prepared to win tomorrow. And inshallah, we are going to change the narratives tomorrow. A big surprise is coming. And Baba Ali Yusuf is going to win and then win massively.
One of the 2 main contenders of the by-elections tomorrow is the NDC, and they are number 1 on the ballot, represented by Baba Jamal. Barely 12 hours to the start of polls. We're here at the NDC office in the constituency to speak with some leaders of the party on their levels of preparedness and how ready they are for the big day at 7 o'clock in the next few hours.
NDC party is ever ready for this election. We have all our processes well coordinated and we are ready to face the opposition party and our other contenders for tomorrow. NDC is ever ready for this very election that we are hosting them here tomorrow.
Do you have any last-minute touches to do in the constituency, or you're done with everything?
Everything was done and dusted here yesterday when we had our final rally. For now, we are all resting, hoping to go into the polls tomorrow to do what we do best. That's to win massively for the NDC. This election is going to be peaceful, and we don't expect any casualty as well. So I believe and I trust in the policemen that are here. They have coordinated everything, like you see the collation center. Everything is well done. So we believe this election is going to be very peaceful.
Tomorrow, everybody will go to their post and do the work. We've already planned. Each and everybody knows that, okay, I'm at this station, I'm in this ward, I'm here, I'm there. You'll not be seeing everybody at everywhere. Everything has already been planned. So currently, we are just waiting for the big day tomorrow, like you said. And we know we are winning, so there's no hard feelings behind.
Well, the constituents now, they are the real MVPs. They have the power to decide who they want to represent them in Parliament.
I'm going to vote for Baba Ali Yusuf. The reasons being that Baba Ali Yusuf is a young man, and that the NPP has never won an election here in Nima for the past 34 years. For all these 34 years, it's been the NDC which has been in power, and nothing seemed to have changed. So we wanted to give a fresh limb, a new start, so that we see what would happen. With the security services, I hope they will be fair. But on our part, as the NPP, we are determined for the first time to make sure that change has come to this community.
I made up my mind to continue to vote for the NDC because we think there's no room for them. There's nothing, they have no idea what they're going to do to this NEMA. So I'll simple ask our the NDC people to come massively to vote for the NDC to continue the legacy that we have for so many years. They have no idea what it takes to rule that we have, and we're going to continue with coming of Baba Jamal. He will do a great job.
I don't expect people to sit at home and say, I'm not going to vote because of 1, 2, or 3. If you do that, then it means that somebody would decide for you and then would make some decisions for you that you wouldn't even like. So we are well prepared. We're looking forward to voting for the right person to change the narrative of the Zongo community, because it's been far too long since we've really experienced real development in our community. My mind is made up.
We are already prepared for the upcoming event tomorrow. And as you can also see that security personnel have done their work diligently.
Well, everything appears set. Security deployed. Ballots are also secured. It rests on the constituency, the Ayawaso East constituency, to make a decision on who they want to represent them in Parliament in the by-election that will commence in a few hours. And a few hours after it starts too, it will come to an end, and then we will know who amongst the 5 candidates represents the Ayawaso East constituency in Parliament to champion the development of the constituency. Noble Crosby, and Ayawaso East constituency, Accra.
So you've heard the constituents there, the beaming with smiles and confidence ahead of tomorrow. And look, they've all expressed exactly what their aspirations and expectations are. But by tomorrow, by this time, I mean, the 5 candidates we're going to show you would know exactly what their smoothness level is. But this is how the picture looks like in terms of the polling architecture and the picture of the constituency. They have total polling stations of 114. This is a constituency that we're going to show you the history of the constituency over time. It's been one that the NDC has won without struggle because of the margins of victory that we're going to show you over time. And look, 414 total polling stations. In fact, TV3 here, we are within the constituency. Okay, so we pay attention to what's happening in there. We understand the dynamics of the various representatives and then also the localities within the constituency, predominantly Muslim constituency, almost 50,000 registered voters. We're going to put that on the screen right now. Clearly gives you an idea of what we're going into tomorrow. But then also when you look at the top 10 polling stations by registered voters, this Alhaji Idris House number 2, 719 registered voters. The opposite club 10 Kanda, this is just some 2 minutes drive away from us here, 714 registered voters. Frankie's Down, house number 77/10, 712. Surak Mosque, 4412. That's 441. That's 678. And Godson Inter-French English School, that's Nima 1, 657 registered voters. You have the Sao Valley Preparatory School, 649. Kanda GNTC, 647. Old Alaska Cinema Hall in Nima, 640 registered voters. Frankie's Annex 2 Nima, 617 registered voters. And 441 Primary Health Care Nima 2, 615 registered voters. You see all this. And so tomorrow, this is the top 10 polling stations by registered voters. I mean, with the highest number of registered voters. We're going to keep an eye on these polling stations. The results from these top 10 polling stations by total number of registered voters will give us a clear idea of where the pendulum is swinging to and who is going to win. And these are the 5 persons seeking the mandate of the people in the Ayawaso East constituency by-election. And Baba Jamal of the NDC, his path to this moment has been one that's been dotted with a lot of controversy. Today, there was a decision in court which essentially cleared him to go ahead and, in fact, the by-election to take place because the Democracy Hub sought to test the law regarding everything that happened during this primaries that elected Baba Jamal. The court took their decision today, paving the way for the by-election tomorrow. So until today, he was Ghana's High Commissioner to Nigeria. That position has been effectively been replaced. Now, we woke up this morning to the announcement of Baba Sadiq replacing Baba Jamal as the High Commissioner of Ghana to Nigeria. Next, Ibrahim Idris of the LPG, Liberal Party of Ghana. That's Kofi Akpalu's party. They are not left out in all of this. Baba Ali Yusuf of the NPP is also third on the ballot, seeking the mandate of the people. You heard some of the people, the constituents that we spoke to, indicating that his age is one they're going to look at. He's young, and so they want to look at him as well. If you look at his history as well in the constituency, his parents lived there. He's taught in the constituency. He has some footprints in there as well, and we'll see how things play out to his favor tomorrow. Mohammed Omar Sanda is an independent candidate. This man was a member of the NDC. In fact, he had his issues with the NDC and decided to go as an independent candidate tomorrow. The NDC has effectively expelled him from the party. This was just a couple of weeks ago. The party issued a statement, so as we speak, Omar Sanda Mohammed is not a member of the NDC, at least because of the decision that he's taking to contest as an independent candidate against the party's elected candidate. It's clear in the NDC's constitution that this warrants an expulsion. Now, David Kano, also an independent candidate. So these are the 5 persons seeking the mandate of the Ayawaso East constituency. Tomorrow, we'll see how things play out. But already, Musa Dankwa, Global Info Analytics, has been on the ground. He's done his polls in this constituency. He's putting out a projection. Remember, his projection before this NDC primaries did not go as he predicted. He's explained why, but Baba Jamal emerged as winner of that primaries. This projection, however, after his poll, is putting Baba Jamal at 75.3%, as against Baba Ali Yusuf of the MPP, 21.4%, and Umar Sanda, the independent candidate, 2.7%, and then Ibrahim Idris, 0.4%, and then also David Kano, 0.2%. That is according to Musa Dankwa. We will see what the constituents in this Ayawaso East constituency will say tomorrow. But Dr. Kwame Asante is a senior lecturer, political science department, University of Ghana, Legon, joining us on Zoom right now. Doc, good evening. Thank you for joining us. You've been also looking through your lenses about what's going to be happening in the Ayawaso East constituency, taking into consideration everything that I have put out here, and then also these 5 persons. How do you see things playing out tomorrow?
I think the campaign has been intense. Issues have been discussed, and it is now the turn for the voters to demonstrate the understanding of the issues that have been discussed, and then see which of them resonate with them. On that score, I believe that they should be able to walk into the polls and do the needful by voting for issues that address their concerns and do away with inducement and the rest of them that undermine the frontiers of free and fair election. That said, I believe that all those who are competing have acquitted themselves well in terms of the campaign and the messaging. What I'm looking forward to is that the election should be free, fair, in other words, devoid of any irregularity that will undermine the contours of a free and fair election.
I say, prior to today, you were clear in your words that this election is for the NDC to lose. Essentially, your point is that the NDC is going to win tomorrow. I mean, do you still stand by that position? Because this statement you made was prior to Baba Jamal being elected, and then also all the issues that we have seen play out up until now. Do you still stand by that position?
If you look at where we left off, and I'm looking at the state of affair that led us to all this. First of all, you are talking about a seat that was in the hands of NDC, and through the demise of the MP, we have to come this far. From that perspective, it's clear that the people, if indeed the late MP was a toast of many, they want to really appreciate that and continue from where he left off. That means that it is natural that they will look at whoever succeeded him in NDC to give their vote to. But remember, in party politics, anything can happen. We have also seen the intense and vigorous campaign that has been done by the MPP candidate. So it gives you a sense of the issue that a lot has gone into the campaign. But looking at what have panned out so far and where we come from, how far we have come, relative to everything that we are doing now, within this unfortunate demise of the MP type of framework, I have no doubt in my mind that everything points to the fact that if NDC is able to campaign very well, they should be able to carry the day. But that also did not automatically mean that the seat, the NDC has taken it just on a silver platter. It's going to be a contest. But my mind tells me, and all that we have read and listened to, and also my given the fact that my ears are on the ground and also picking data, the NDC is slight ahead.
Okay, so you still stick by that position, the NDC is later. But if you look at least, and you reference the campaigning and everything that's happening, that's where I go to the history of this constituency and how the results have been over time. It also tells a story, does it not, as to where we are going into regarding this election. And this is it. In 2012, that's the first time the late member of parliament contested this constituency, taking over from the likes of Farouk Brahima and Dr. Mustafa Ahmed, the late. The Nazir Muhammad Toure, the late, polls 26,647 of the valid votes cast at 65.44%, as against the NPP's candidate, 34%. So yes, it's been a dominant performance by the NDC over time, but the NPP also, over time has shown some from 34% in 2016, inched up to 36%. The NDC maintained their hold on that constituency. But let's fast forward to 2024. Take a look at this. The late member of parliament polled over 70% of the valid vote cast, as against the NPP's candidate, Zak Rahman, has been changed. So we have a new face for the NPP in going into this by-election. But Zak Rahman, who contested in 2024 on the ticket of the NPP, polled a little over 29% of the valid vote cast. That's 9,110, as against 22,139 of the valid vote cast won by the late member of parliament, Nazir Muhammad Toure. I mean, conditions obviously are not the same in a general election if you juxtapose it with a by-election. But do you see any upset whatsoever?
Oh, as for what went wrong, we have known and we have seen, and I said it before that body was put in place, that nothing good was going to come out. And I was vindicated by the decision that was reached and all that. But that is a function of what we have seen over the years relative to election, particularly in the case of by-election. You can have some, a show of force in terms of performance by the MPP and the candidates. But at the end of the day, I believe that it will not mean much to overturn the decision of those who intend to give their votes to the NDC. They want to retain that. We have seen it in this country. Anytime a party loses a candidate, the chances are that that very particular party is likely to carry the day. But of course, we have also seen some deviations along the line. Everything is possible, but the probability, the chances are that the NDC, where they are, they stand to carry the day in great success.
Oh. Dr. Kwame Asasante, thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. And he's a senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Legon. And we remain your election command center. Tomorrow, the coverage starts at 6 a.m. Here on your election command center. We'll gauge the mood before the polls officially open at 7 a.m. We're going to be there every step of the way to bring you all the exclusive detail on ground and analysis in studio, online as well, here on your election command center. Next on Ghana Tonight, all clear for government to issue domestic bonds as a 3-year restriction imposed as a result of the domestic debt exchange program elapses. Now, this is a statement that we got from government, from the finance ministry. The details of it we're going to show you shortly. It clearly gives us an idea of the intentions of government regarding the domestic debt and then the issuance of domestic instruments. So this 3-year restriction barring government from issuing domestic bonds has elapsed. Government in 2023, if you recall, imposed the ban following the debt default prior to the domestic debt exchange program. The Minister of Finance, Dr. Kasiela Tofosing, says the expiration paves the way for government to reduce its reliance on treasury bills to finance its budget. And what we have seen over time is that consistently, at least since this administration took over, we've seen the reliance on treasury bills because we've been shut out of the international market, and that's number one. And at least we've been tracking for the past 3 months, treasury bills have been oversubscribed heavily. And so there's some enough funds domestically to now diversify the portfolios of investment to see whether investors will be attracted to these other areas as well. But the finance minister's statement is quite clear on the path going forward, that they've announced the expiration of the restrictions on new domestic bonds issuance. The 3-year restriction measure was imposed in 2023 with because of this DDEP. This comes at a time when, according to the finance ministry, inflation is low, investor confidence has improved, and the macroeconomic environment is strong, supported by a robust medium-term debt management strategy and significant buffers. 4. Since 2025, the government has honored every coupon, payment, and obligation under the restructured bond, demonstrating its credibility, fiscal discipline, and the commitment to responsible debt management. And they also make the point that the expiration of the restrictions paved the way for government to drastically reduce its dependence on treasury bills to finance its budget and allows for the issuance of new, longer-dated domestic bonds. President John Dramani Mahama's administration is once again deeply grateful to the Ghanaian people that goes on for their forbearance and cooperation during the difficult period. This is a statement that came through from the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiela Toforsen. And I want to launch on this particular one because what this statement is saying is that since 2025, government has honored every coupon and obligation under the restructured bonds, demonstrating credibility. And that has led to some improvement in investor confidence. And Joe Jackson is the CEO of Daylex Finance, a financial analyst, joining us on Zoom right now. So Jackson, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. You've been monitoring the market. You are a player in the market. This particular point about investor confidence improving over time and reason why the finance minister is confident that with the subscriptions and oversubscriptions we've seen in treasury bills, we can have investor confidence bounce back in other government instruments after the haircut and the impact of the domestic debt exchange program. Is it reflective of the reality on the ground in the market?
I would say confidence has been built. And why would I say that? After the DDEP, financial institutions like Daylex and the like were offering fixed deposit rates way below T-bill rates because everybody felt that the risk of T-bill rates was too high after the DDEP and that the government could default again. So instruments with institutions like ours were priced at a lower risk than the government. Now, that situation is no more. We are pricing our instruments above T-bill rates. That shows that confidence in this government has been restored. Look at how, T-bill auctions are oversubscribed week in, week out. And there's a desire of the Ghanaian investor with surplus liquidity to find other modes of investment aside from T-bills. So the time is right. We cannot keep funding medium-term government requirements with short-term T-bills. We have to match the requirements with the funding we are getting. And that means bonds. And the time is now. And we have to be brave. We cannot continue to be timid and say, maybe. No, we have to be brave. We have to try new things. In any case, we have to start reaping the benefit of all the fiscal discipline that has been applied. We have to reap the benefit of the belt thing that has been applied. We have to reap the benefit of the stability that we claim. So I applaud the finance minister for being brave. And I will be the first to tell anybody that, please, when the bonds come onto the market, try it out, test it. The government has paid its coupons consistently since 2024. It's time for us to start repaying that prudence with some reward. And that reward being that we'll start to buy bonds again. We've got to move beyond the DDEP. We've got to move beyond the debt default of 2022 and its aftermath. We've got to move beyond the stability that we are facing now and move towards growth. And this is a small step, but a significant step.
It's a significant step, you say, Joe Jackson, and there's a point that you made about how things are playing out, especially regarding investor confidence, and then also what you are seeing in your company that is also a player in this particular market, about what has happened in the short-dated instruments, the treasury bills, which we have seen consistent oversubscription, and how that will play out as well in this long-dated instruments, in this instance, that is the bonds, as we're saying. Dr. Theo Champon is going to be joining us in a bit. He is an economist and then also political risk analyst. He's going to be joining us on Zoom shortly to seek his thoughts on this. He is also an advisor at the Finance Ministry, technical advisor to the Finance Minister. Dr. Theo Champon is joining us on Zoom for a quick conversation on Zoom right now. Doc, can you hear us? Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. I want to find out your thoughts. And Joe Jackson is on the line. He makes the point about what he has experienced as a player in the investment market in this country, that indeed investor confidence is bouncing back after the impact of the domestic debt exchange program. It's the right time to have the finance minister now venture into other long-dated instruments so as to leverage the investor confidence that Joe Jackson talked about? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you clearly. I was asking about the timing of this issues that Joe Jackson just raised, about the investor confidence that has bounced back, and then also what we're hearing from the finance minister now about the expiration of the DDEP-induced restrictions. Right timing, you would say, to launch on investor confidence?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, I respect Uncle Joe so much. Managing people's money is not easy, right? And they were able to weather the storm of the DDEP, and then now you don't only even just have investor confidence returning, but ordinary people on the street can also feel it with the lower inflationary environment that we're seeing. And what the minister and the ministry is basically trying to really communicate is that the restriction period has ended, but importantly, you have an environment now where inflation is low, investor confidence coming up, and then the prevailing macro fiscal environment is also good, with government, keeping tabs on spending and being very consistent in reining in unnecessary expenditure. So what that really then means that over the medium to long term, if you're looking for yields in emerging markets such as Ghana, you're actually better off not investing within the shorter end of the market. So your 91-day, 182-day, even the 362-day bill, the one-year bill, is not enough. We really want to push and get more portfolio investments domestically, but also from external investors into the longer end of the market. So issue 10-year bonds, issue 5-year bonds, issue infrastructure bonds that will be able to build up roads and other economic infrastructure that would generate not only a financial return, but important social returns with big multipliers for the economy, right, as a whole when it comes to job creation and then also enhancing productivity. So that really is sort of where we are at the moment. Timing is perfect, and you are in a position to actually issue some of these longer-term instruments that allows you to be able to meet your liquidity needs, but tie that down to infrastructure that generates an economic return.
Doc, appreciate your time on this, and thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Thank you.
Dr. Theo Champong is an economist. He is a technical advisor to the finance minister and a political risk analyst as well. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next after this quick break, how is Ghana's petroleum sector, another aspect of the economy, going to withstand and respond to the escalating tensions in the Middle East? Joe Jackson is still with us, and then we would have an official from the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, Abbas Dasunte, will also be joining us. We'll have a conversation on this. Stay with us.
It's that time of the year when Media General transforms into Ghana's cultural hub, and this year we're taking it to another level. Our Ghana village is bigger and better. So much to experience, eat, drink, buy, do and learn every single day. And there's more. The Ghana Month Expedition offers 3 nights and 4 days of pure, unforgettable fun touring the best part of the Eastern, Ashanti and Central regions from the 19th to the 22nd of March. And on the 28th March, all roads lead to the Legon City Mall for your favorite food event, the 3FM Gobe Festival. But that's not all. All throughout March, our screens and dials celebrate everything that makes us proud. Our shows, music, movies, festivals, history, traditions, and more. Welcome to a truly incomparable and totally immersive Ghana Month 2026. Ghana Month launches on all Media General platforms on Monday, 2nd March 2026 at 10 a.m. It's that time of the year when Media General transforms into Ghana's cultural hub, and this year we're taking it to another level. Our Ghana village is bigger and better. So much to experience, eat, drink, buy, do and learn every single day. And there's more. The Ghana Month Expedition offers 3 nights and 4 days of pure, unforgettable fun touring the best part of the Eastern, Ashanti and Central regions from the 19th to the 22nd of March. And on the 28th March, all roads lead to the Legon City Mall for your favorite food event, the 3FM Gobe Festival. But that's not all. All throughout March, our screens and dials celebrate everything that makes us proud. Our shows, music, movies, festivals, history, traditions, and more. Welcome to a truly incomparable and totally immersive Ghana Month 2026. Ghana Month launches on all Media General platforms on Monday, 2nd March 2026 at 10 a.m. It's that time of the year when Media General transforms into Ghana's cultural hub, and this year we're taking it to another level. Our Ghana villages, rich condos, Central brings the history, Asing Manso, Cape Coast Castle, plus lunch by the coast, then a Crown Resort vacation, quad biking, horse riding, water adventures. All this for 6,500 Ghana cedis single, 5,500 Ghana cedis shared rooms, and 10,500 Ghana cedis couple. You're interested, right? Call now. 0531 100927 or 0247 120 633. Ghana Month Expedition, 19th to 22nd March. Don't just watch Ghana, experience it. It's time to explore Ghana again. From 19th to 22nd March, join the Ghana Month Expedition. 3 regions, 4 days. Eastern, Ashanti, Central. We kick it off in Eastern region. Chocolate experiences, fresh farm fruits, Safari Valley lunch with zebras and exotic animals, Bonsu Eco Park for canopy walks and ziplining, and then party at the Rock City Hotel. Ashanti takes over. Bonre Kente Museum, Kumasi Museum, Komfornochi Source Site, Lake Bosumtri for hiking adventures and sleepover at Rich Condos. Central brings the history at Singmanso, Cape Coast Castle, plus lunch by the coast. Then a Crown Resort vacation, quad biking, horse riding, water adventures. All this for 6,500 Ghana Cedi single, 5,500 Ghana Cedi shared rooms, and 10,500 Ghana Cedis couple. You're interested, right? Call now 0531 100927 or 0247 120 633. Ghana Month Expedition, 19th to 22nd March. Don't just watch Ghana, experience it. It's time to explore Ghana again. From 19th to 22nd March, join the Ghana Month Expedition. 3 regions, 4 days.
Welcome back. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live on 3FM 92.7, also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. Amid the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, concerns have emerged about possible disruptions to Ghana's petroleum supply. However, the National Petroleum Authority has moved to calm fears of a fuel shortage. Has been quite clear and consistent on this, assuring consumers that the country has sufficient petroleum stocks to meet demand despite the rising tensions. But before we get into that, we want to establish the matter of safety of Ghanaian citizens in these countries that have been attacked as a result of this renewed conflict between Israel, the United States, and Iran. Now, we've seen other countries hit the UAE, Saudi Arabia as well. And Saudi Arabia is of interest because our Muslim brothers and sisters, pilgrims or people who intend to go on pilgrimage, will be looking at what's happening, and it will be a matter of concern. And we just got a notice from the Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, and this is what he put out. Let's put it on the screen right now. It clearly tells us about efforts that have been made so far to evacuate Ghanaian citizens in some of these countries. He says, I'm delighted to announce that we have conducted a successful evacuation of all our embassy staff in Iran. The Ghanaian diplomats are safe and in high spirits. Ghana's embassy in Iran is now closed, sine die, that is indefinitely. The safety, welfare, and protection of Ghanaians remains our utmost priority in these tempestuous times for God and country. That's Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, the Foreign Affairs Minister, giving us details of what is happening there right now. We're just going to show you a video. It gives you a clear idea of what is happening in these other countries that have been attacked as a result of this renewed conflict in the area. Even though this is just a fight between Israel, United States, and Iran, you see Dubai has been hit. The Dubai International Airport has been shut, and a number of Ghanaians stranded as a result. The United Arab Emirates as well has been attacked, and then also you see there other areas that have been, unfortunately, hit by the spillovers of this conflict. The Strait of Hormuz has also been closed, and that's what's going to be the next phase of our conversation about how this decision impacts on supply of crude oil globally. And Alhaj Mohammed Amin Lamte is the spokesperson of the Pilgrims Affairs of Ghana, and he's connecting with us on the telephone. And we showed you Saudi Arabia has also had its fair share of this situation, of the spillover of this conflict. And Alhaj, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Now, we understand that there's been some advice from the Foreign Affairs Minister regarding the Hajj pilgrimage and then your preparations to visit Saudi Arabia for the annual pilgrimage. Because of what's happening now, Saudi Arabia, unfortunately, has also been a victim of this. How are you also taking all of this into consideration in your preparations?
First of all, thanks for having me. For now, I can say that the Pilgrims Affairs Office of Ghana, we have not received any official report or notification that Hajj 2026 is in danger or being cancelled or halted based on the ongoing, conflict between Iran, Israel, and the United States. I also saw the quotes by the Foreign Affairs Minister, Honorable Ablakwa, who is making the point that the processes of Hajj 2026 must be halted. We must pause because of what is happening. So this is a very good advice from the minister. He may sound quite a bit diplomatic, but I can tell you that the Pilgrims Affairs Office of Ghana, we are still in the process of making sure the right things are done. The Saudi government themselves know that for 2026 Hajj, there are so many challenges. Number one, operational challenges, because they brought on board so many changes logistically and health restrictions. So as we speak now, we are currently going through the mandatory medical screening. We've started in the Upper East, moved to the Upper West, Northern Ashanti, and then we've started Greater Accra a couple of days ago. So we are still in the process, and there is nothing that we've heard from the Saudi government that we should halt what we are doing to all intents and purposes. Alfred.
Right. Alhaj, thank you so much for joining us. And he's the Director of Communications for the Pilgrims Affairs Office of Ghana, Alhaj Mohammed Amin Lamte there. Now, beyond this, that's the concern of the economy, how all of this impacts on especially crude oil prices, because there are three factors that influences pricing of petroleum products at our pumps, the various fuel stations. That's the price of crude oil on the world market, the taxes and levies in the price build-up, and then also the currency differentials, how the cedi is faring against the major trading currency. Now our concern is the price of crude oil on the world market. And this is it. This is how it looks like. Between Saturday, when this conflict started, and now we've seen an increase of almost $10 on the barrel of crude oil, from $73 per barrel to about $82, between $82 and $83 as we speak per barrel. And analysts have projected that if things continue this way, all things being equal, for the next few days ahead of us, it could cross the $100 per barrel, and that's one concern. But let's bring in Abbas Ibrahim Tasunte. He's the Director of Economic Regulation and Planning at the National Petroleum Authority, NPA. Abbas, thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. How much fuel does Ghana have in our reserve, so that with all of this that's happening here, we will still have no reason to panic?
Okay. So first of all, let me clarify that Ghana, we've been having monetary stocks on a daily basis just to ensure that we never run out of petroleum stocks, petroleum products. Yes, we monitor the stocks vis-a-vis an import plan and a supply plan that ensures that we always have products available. And so as we speak, we have diesel that is lasting us a little over 5 weeks, and petrol that's lasting us about 7 weeks. And so these are the numbers we have at the moment. And we also have products that are scheduled for delivery. As we speak, we have 2 vessels of diesel and 2 vessels of petrol at our waters in Tema, who are waiting in a queue to discharge. We discharge almost on a daily basis to augment the domestic production that we are getting from Century Oil Refinery and the other small refineries, in addition to what the Ghana National Gas Processing Plant is doing in the Western region, where they produce only LPG. And so this import plan that we have, this supply plan that we have, vis-a-vis the stock monitoring that we do, is something we do on a daily basis, irrespective of whether there's war or not. And this is what has sustained us over the years to ensure Ghana has never faced shortages at the pumps.
See, and Abbas, we all don't know when this war is going to end. And so you talk about 5 weeks for petrol, 7 weeks for diesel, and then other sources that you talk about. So if this war goes beyond the 5-7 weeks, and then also beyond what the additional stock we have would last, what happens? What's the follow-on plan for Ghana that the NPA has?
So, like I said, the import plan, usually we will not be looking at just what's in tank. Rightly, we have to look at whether our supply sources will be blocked or not. And so, when we look at our supply sources at the moment, we have confidence that we have enough to meet the demand of the country. As we speak, data from the S&P Global Platts shows that the offshore Lumi market, where our products come to before they are done, they are put on vessels, smaller vessels to come to Ghana, has over 4 million barrels of crude of diesel, as an example. And this is enough to meet almost our country's annual demand of diesel. Nigeria and Ghana used to be the biggest off-takers of the products that come to offshore Lumi when they are brought in from other parts of the world. Because Dangote is producing at the moment, Nigeria has banned importation, and so diesel in particular, they don't consume as much as petrol in Nigeria. So there's abundance of diesel in Nigeria, and so the diesel that comes to the offshore market is more or less, I would say, stranded. So there's a lot of diesel floating on the seas in Lumi, and so for supply assurance, because of this, we are so much assured that Ghana is not going to struggle to get diesel to come to our waters to discharge here. Based on our import plan, which we do on a quarterly basis, we have products scheduled for delivery all the way to the end of April. This month of March, we are going to plan our for the next quarter, which is the second quarter of the year. And this import plan that we do ensures that we never run out of stocks. So we have our cargoes for the next that are going to be imported to the end of this quarter already confirmed, and no one has come to say they cannot deliver because of the war. I think, like I said earlier, supply security is something that MP is very much concerned in. It's one of our core mandates. I know the concern rather will be how much it affects prices. And so that's something that we cannot run away from. But in terms of availability of the petroleum products, it is going to be available. Let me just take us back to exactly 4 years ago when Russia attacked Ukraine. We were faced with the same challenge where supplies on the global market kind of reduced because of the ban of the sanctions that were imposed on Russia, where their products were not going to Europe anymore. Ghana faced the same challenge, but we never ran out of fuel because we had the same robust import and supply plan. Even at the time, we never had domestic production like we have today, where Central is meeting about 30% of our demand. So we are very much assured that we are not going to run out of fuel at the pumps. The country is very well supplied.
Right, but Abbas, all of these projections are predicated on all things being equal, I mean, with a positive outlook. But what could possibly go wrong from where you sit? And if it does go south, what's the alternate plan that the NPA has?
So one thing about the global oil market is that it will always survive. Why do I say so? We've had several wars happen, and they've never made the world run out of petroleum products completely. And the reason is this. One, the US, for example, and the IEA member countries always have strategic reserves that they release onto the global markets when there is serious shortage of petroleum products. And this always will sustain the markets. That's one. The second thing is that the OPEC member countries also always produce within a certain quota just to ensure that prices, they don't oversupply for price to come down because they always target a certain price for crude oil. And so when such issues happen, what OPEC will then do, and the countries of the world will call on them, even before they consider releasing their strategic reserves, is that they will ask them to produce more crude oil. And Saudi Arabia in particular always has the ability to produce more to even make up for what is being lost. Iran's 1.2 million barrels that is being lost, and I think 1.5 million barrels has been lost. It's something that Saudi Arabia and the OPEC member countries can easily make up for if the Iranian products are not going to the market. So the market is going to survive. The impact will be priced, like I said earlier. Now, let's also remember that the Russia-Ukraine war, for example, happened. Right. It's still ongoing as we speak. After prices peaked to a certain point, they started dropping. So the world market always adjusts to these issues, and we will not see prices continue to rise. And as for shortage, like I said, it's not something that will happen because there are enough reserves to produce. I've heard BP, for example, say they are going to, and not only BP, other producers will definitely go to other sources of production of crude oil.
Right. Abbas, appreciate you for this. Abbas Ibrahim Tasunte is Director of Economic Regulation and Planning at the National Petroleum Authority, NPA. More of this on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is your Election Command Center. The coverage tomorrow of the IASO East constituency by-election starts at 6 a.m. across all media journal platforms. Make a date with us. I am Alfred Okansi. Have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint, superior durability.
Ashanti Central. We kick it off. It's time to explore Ghana again. From 19th to 22nd March, join the Ghana Month Expedition. 3 regions, 4 days. Eastern, Ashanti, Central. We kick it off in Eastern region. Chocolate experiences, fresh farm fruits, Safari Valley lunch with zebras and exotic animals, Bonsu Eco Park for canopy walks and ziplining, and then party at the Rock City Hotel. Ashanti takes over. Bonre Kente Museum, Kumasi Museum, Comfort Noche Source Site, Lake Bosomtri for hiking adventures and sleepover at Rich Condos. Central brings the history at Singmanso, Cape Coast Castle, plus lunch by the coast, then a Crown Resort vacation, quad biking, horse riding, water adventures. All this for 6,500 Ghana Cedi single, 5,500 Ghana Cedi shared rooms, and 10,500 Ghana Cedis couple. You're interested, right? Call now 0531 100927 or 0247 120 633. Ghana Month Expedition, 19th to 22nd March. Don't just watch Ghana, experience it. It's time to explore Ghana again. From 19th to 22nd March, join the Ghana Month Expedition. 3 regions, 4 days. Eastern, Ashanti, Central. We kick it off in Eastern region. Chocolate experiences, fresh farm fruit.